Okemo Valley local Sammy Blanchette brings together fellow artists, entrepreneurs, family, and friends and talks about life, work, and everything in between. It's the Tasty Twist with Sammy B. Enjoy.
Time rolls by in the blink of an eye, but don't look back, you wave goodbye. Seasons change so smooth. Who's to say anyway what is to blame in this wicked game? No one won't sing right unless you put up a fight. There he goes, moving cool and slow, smiling soft and proud, while the music played loud, taking control, touching soul. Fix it right, day or night, not everyone can depend on this kind of friend, but you just might get lucky sometime. Floating up toward the moon, feeling crazy as a loon, sailing gently across the sky, moving freely with the tide. But don't be sad, the pain won't last. Just take some time to enjoy this ride. All the beautiful times we watch take flight. So time goes by in the blink of an eye, but don't look back as you wave goodbye. Seasons change so thanks.
Good job, Hank.
That's a song from our new album called Bubba's Flight, and the handsome gentleman on the back of this album is our friend Bubba, who is one of the best friends to our music that we had. And this was a picture that existed before we knew it was going to be an album cover. And so it's on the back of the album, and that is the song Bubba's Flight. Side 2, second to the last song on the album. And I'm already talking. I haven't even,
I was about to say, I love the capo work, man. Hank approves too.
This is a special capo I bought just for this guitar. Thanks for, you guys were loving up Hank so much in that moment that it made me, I was getting a little choked up myself, besides having no voice left from us playing a lot this past few months. Thanks for loving up Hank. You guys are both,
no problem, man.
Hank is an awesome foster dog that I have from Rutland County Humane Society.
Yeah.
Come here, mister.
Yeah.
And he doesn't always chew on
He's
people's
playing drums
faces.
on your guitar.
But he is playing drums. Come here. Good boy.
Good boy.
So maybe we'll do one more. If you guys want to feed Hank some more carrots. Sammy B, I've been admiring you, your chutzpah, your stamina. You know, the music that you play and the passion for how much you've been doing it. And I remember watching you play the Rain song, which I always wanted to know myself. And I think I messaged you how many years ago was that now?
7, I think.
Heather and I were
played
together.
it. Yeah.
Was that CK3?
And
Was that
how old are you?
Jen Zeppelin. They're part of CK.
Can I ask you how old you are?
I will actually be, this is going to be aired another time, I will be 36 on Thursday.
All right. So
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
known you for a while and admired your abilities on the guitar and the work that you do, the hustling that you do, and that's all before you were even bringing this thing together. So thanks for what you do, and I'm sorry that I haven't been able to get down here sooner, but now we have an album to promote and a dog to find a home for. So and
It's an honor having you guys. You are such pillars to the community and so many musicians, and just like it's a true representation of what Vermont is, community with your restaurant and what you guys do for everything. So happy to finally have you here, and Hank as well.
Well, I think
Yeah.
in the climate of the world right now, we need to drop more little droplets of positivity like this.
Yes,
And I think the more that we do
100%.
that, the butterfly effect takes over, and somebody does it on the other side of the universe, and we can kind of counteract all the negative energy that sometimes is put out there on social media. and stuff.
Absolutely. I think we've got that down to a science here.
So yeah,
what do we have?
I think we're gonna do "Wrong Turn," which is in B minor.
Okay.
And this is a song for people who have like a crazy left-wing aunt, hippie left-wing aunt, and a crazy right-wing uncle, and they had to get together and sit down at the table, the Thanksgiving, the holiday table together, and they had to get along without killing each other. So "Wrong Turn" is really about us all just getting along again. You know what I mean?
I love it.
It's got a little reggae skank to it, and I got the skankiest guy that I knew here, Jake McLaughlin. Jake is runner-up is over there.
Well, what about Jay? Come on.
Jay is straight up seeing J-Rad last night up at Jay. So
J-Rad.
Jay, you don't know that Jay is named after Jay. So when Jay goes to Jay, they roll out the red carpet for him.
It's rad.
And it is
It's rad.
And a lot of folks don't know that Blake had been abducted by deadhead aliens for a couple of years, and we just got him back. But they did some sort of transformation to him that he just looks cuter than he was before he left. So we're happy to have Blakey G back. Jay Crazy Legs Osborne, Heather Boom Boom Lynn, my partner in love and crime over there. Jake McLaughlin is doing community service. That's why he's playing with us now. And we
Go to the Wild Fern. If you had not been to the Wild Fern yet in Stockbridge, please do yourself a favor.
And we can't wait to have you rip some solos over this B minor Rasta.
You know what? I've played this one before.
I think
That's right. I remember.
Pale moonlight, stars shining bright. A gentle breeze blows straight down through the soul. Deep feelings arise, sneak out from behind these eyes, telling us we must listen close. There's a lesson out there by now we really should have learned. We don't want to end up taking another wrong turn. Lost along the way, got nothing new to say. Some days I just scream at these walls. Keep trying to find the time, keep our destination in sight, and lift one another up. Oh, if we should fall, yeah. There's a lesson out there by now we really should have learned. We don't want to end up taking another wrong turn. All right, let's take it home, man. Pale moonlight, stars shining bright. A gentle breeze blows straight down through the soul. Nice one, everyone.
All right.
Nice, Sammy B. Woo! I'll take this little monster for you now. Thank you guys for holding on to that guy. Oh, don't knock over Sammy.
That's all right.
I know that we have a full house here, yeah, and Rick Redington and the Tuff Luv, that was awesome, the playing portion of the video and everything right there. And, that's nice. You know, we're winging it. I have no prepared questions just because now that we have so many people here, we'll just start off what you guys want to like talk about, like events and everything. So
We're actually playing down here. Heather, tell us.
August 24th, we are going to be playing the Okemo Valley Festival here in.
Oh, the Best of Vermont Festival. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Okemo.
Yeah.
What is it called?
it's the Best of Vermont. That's what it's called.
Okemo.
Best of Vermont.
Okay.
Yeah. Okemo Field.
Right.
Okemo
Yeah.
Field.
Yeah.
And
I
but
think
the day
so, yeah.
before, on Saturday, this Saturday, right?
No,
we're
we
playing.
have one in between.
We have one in between.
This Saturday. Yeah.
Well, we're playing a memorial for
One in between.
For
One in
John.
between that, right? Yeah. One for the.
for a great member of the community who passed not long ago, John Miller, who you knew, right?
Yes,
So we're playing a memorial for John Miller on Saturday, this Saturday at
Holly.
2 o'clock in Mount Holly. So if you're friends of John was a great photographer. He was father of two of my son's best friends, so we sort of grew up with Dustin being part of our crew, and so we're going to go share the love for John Miller this Saturday at 2 o'clock in Mount Holly at their family's home, and then Sunday, like you said, the Okemo thing, that's next Sunday. Sorry, and we started doing an acoustic residency at Killington Distillery.
Yeah. Tell us how that's going, because I know that you're quite familiar with residencies over the years,
Yeah.
like whether at the Wild Fern or now at like various places. So.
Killington's a little bit like the mob. Just when you're out, they pull you back in. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I knew George Costanza saying that. Every time they look me up, they pull me back in.
But
That's going great.
we
so
have
far,
some
right?
sweet friends up there. Our friend Matt, who has actually adopted one of the last fosters I had. Matt Dunn is the executive chef up there, and our friend JP is one of the owners of the place. And
Shout out JP.
So we're going up for heartfelt reasons too, because we want to play for JP and be able to play for Matt, and they also sort of are supportive of the work that I do with the dogs, with the fostering of the dogs.
That's
and
great.
Stuff. So we've been playing in an acoustic format. And we were basically playing with Jake McLaughlin leading up to the August West Fest, which was this week in Jay, and played for a couple of thousand people, which was fantastic. Everybody did a great job.
Absolutely.
Couldn't have been more proud of
You
it.
guys have
21st
been,
year.
You guys, I was about to say, and you guys have headlined that for
21
the
years.
longest time, right? Yeah,
21 years.
wow.
Started with 150 people the first year at the base of Jay, and Jay did something really, really nice that I don't see a ton of the resorts do. That they decided, let's bring this down to the village and do something really, really nice for the people that really get behind the operations. And they started putting on this free festival, giving away Ben & Jerry's, doing tie-dyes for kids, and doing this family-friendly festival from like noon to 5 o'clock. And now, 21 years later, they've got thousands of people that show up.
This year, I think, was one of their biggest.
Yeah.
And it also drew a record amount of new people
Right.
coming to the
Is it?
festival for the first
I
time.
would imagine it's a ticketed event, right?
No,
it's
no,
a
it's
free.
free.
They,
not.
yeah,
Oh,
Jay
wow.
And we
puts
play,
it on for the
wow.
town of Jay.
we
It's
play
a
with Seth-
celebration.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know Seth Iacovone? And,
Yes.
So we play with Seth Iacovone and his band, Dead Sessions Light. I wouldn't probably be a musician if it wasn't for my love of Jerry and the Dead tunes that I learned. Like Jerry to me was like what Bach is to classical musicians, you know.
30th anniversary 2 days ago, by the way.
Yeah,
of his
yeah,
passing.
yeah. No,
30th
and that's why they set up the August West Fest right
It was
around
a
the anniversary
celebration,
of his,
yeah,
of
a
his
celebration
passing.
of the music.
So that's when
yeah.
because Steve Wright, who runs stuff up there, is a big Deadhead, and he used to have a radio show on the Killington radio station years ago.
That's why I moved to Vermont.
WEBK, right? Is that right? That's
It was
funny.
a good reason.
Let's throw off a couple fire
go ahead.
questions here off the top of my head. You have a favorite Dead song after all these years you still prefer playing?
Right now, China Doll.
Okay.
China Doll, which used to be my scariest Dead song. When they played China Doll, I would have to hide under people's like. I would have to hide under the seat because it was.
I love that, or give me Stella. Or
Yeah,
China
Stella
Doll.
was good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love
But
the
that's
Jerry.
crazy.
I love Jerry when you could just hear in his voice
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the longing
Yeah,
and
the pain,
the
the
beauty.
sorrow.
Yes,
Yeah.
all of it came
Yeah.
through.
Very,
It,
very
it was just
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah.
He felt every song that
Yeah.
he played like that.
I don't
love
think
it.
I'd be in Vermont if it wasn't for coming up to see the Grateful Dead at Highgate
And,
30 years
Ah.
ago.
Wow.
That was
and all
my
of us,
first-
as you know, because we
What-
played three.
And now we
pieces.
What
all were
year,
there,
Heather?
but we did
What
not.
year?
Oh, yeah.
95.
95. Oh, just the year.
95.
So the year before. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, 95 was the last year.
Yeah, it was the last year.
I was in Highgate.
Yeah, and all three of
Yeah,
us.
everybody was there,
I
but
was,
I didn't.
I
We
was
didn't
6
know
years
each
old in
other.
Connecticut. Yeah.
I was just an Ohio girl coming up.
And when we played as a three-piece band, as just the Love, we were, you know, a band that not every band, all of them are Deadheads in the band, you know what I mean? But when Blake, Heather, and I played together, we've been playing like three-piece and trying to pull off a lot of those songs. Just three-piece is very, very rough, you know.
What's your take on converting people who aren't Deadheads that are in the band to all of a sudden become Deadheads?
It's interesting. I definitely played with a really amazing Berkeley graduate jazz keyboard player for years who had not really experienced the Dead, and he had to admit 5 years into it that he really, really dug it, and what he unlearned from what he had learned at like Berkeley and learned through
What
like
song
a lot
got
of the
him,
Dead
though?
songs. What's that?
What song got him?
Well, me hearing like Russian Lullaby for the first time, which has more chord changes than anything, but Jerry didn't write that, but him and Grisman covered it, and Russian Lullaby was written by Irving Berlin, and is
It's a million chord changes.
you know, there's a chord change every 2 beats, you know. So actually, I only took like a couple of guitar lessons, and I brought this to a
Not a
jazz.
pentatonic scale soloist.
Yeah,
Ideal
So
situation.
we actually
He threw it out.
I always like to play Stump the Band.
Yeah. I got this.
He's a good sport.
I always do at least one song or two songs
along for the
to
ride,
completely
yeah.
stump the band, and I was like, this guy's got a great ear, and like, let's really throw him a challenge. So we played Russian Lullaby, and actually Blake doesn't always have a tendency to love to like play a swing vibe, and Blake.
Is this true, Blake?
Blake just hung. I mean, I shouldn't put him on the spot.
No, I'm not the jazziest guy, but sometimes it
You were
clicks.
swinging.
Sometimes
He was
yeah.
swinging.
You were swinging,
He was
dude.
definitely
Hey, at
swinging
least it's
on
not
that.
Donna Lee by Charlie Parker. You know what I'm saying? Those are chord changes.
Yeah.
Giant stuff.
Oh, God. They're what you
But
take.
you got him right where you want him
Yeah,
now.
they're what you take. Yeah.
Hank's got Dougie right where he wants him
Full
now.
of carrots and tired out.
The funny thing is he reminds me of Denver. He does not look amused by any of these conversations.
Yeah, no,
Where's my
he's-
carrots? Where's my carrots?
Well, actually, the past like 3 Fosters that we had, this is how great this band is, and especially like practicing for this acoustic stuff, they were deathly afraid of even the strum of a guitar, like some of the
Really?
Fosters,
Oh,
even Blue,
okay.
as a matter of fact, that
Did you
Jared
like
had.
it?
So we would get together with practices and just gently like ease the dogs into it, play a little like louder, maybe give them some treats and stuff. Hank's the first one was like bring on the rock and roll.
I'm about to say he handled it like a champion.
No, we
Yeah.
had a punk show at the Wild Fern 2 weeks ago.
Two
like
Fridays
3
ago,
punk
yeah.
bands, 2 of them were
in
touring
honor
bands.
of Ozzy or
No, it was
it's
just
just
actually
coincidental timing.
our
Yeah.
friend Nick Grandchamp is Rutland great in the Rutland punk scene and keeps that alive. And so I know that sounds fun. That sounds fun
So
just
great.
to say.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm an original Rutland punk myself because I'm from I'm proudly from the city of Rutland.
Yeah.
I forgot what the hell. I
Go
was
Rut
gonna say.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Is
So-
that another one of those towns that just keeps pulling you back in?
Yeah, yeah. So we,
I love
we had him.
Yeah.
I had Hank at because I had treats, little pieces of pizza. I had him at the punk show, and he was like, sitting in the middle of our kids moshing while the bands were just wailing. Lead singer in his briefs, as a matter of fact. And Hank couldn't care less. He was like, "Where's that pizza? Just give me the pizza." So, and then he was sitting like a statue in the midst of like volume and like chaos, you know. So I thought that was impressive.
So your album here, Supermoon, how long did that fully take to come to fruition as far as recording and releasing it?
Here's the thing, like I'm getting into a studio and doing it like piece by piece was almost like not gonna happen. A lot of these songs I had written back when we were a lineup, like Supermoon, I wrote in Lake Placid. As we were looking at a supermoon with Mercury and retrograde coming up, we used to play this club called Delta Blue, and they'd give us a room for 2 nights.
And we could have had dogs.
And we could bring dogs.
Bring dogs.
And there was
That's
a
the sell
plus
right
for
there.
us.
That's the sell right there. Yes.
So we bring our dogs with us, and so we were playing, and that song came to me on the second night we were playing, and I was waiting for these guys to get ready for Blake to wake up and for us to go downstairs.
We
And
were doing our beauty rest.
I basically wrote, well, any good band, listen, the best bands that I've ever heard. I heard people interview Steve Howe one time, and they're like, Steve Howe from Yes, and they're like, any advice you have for young musicians? And I completely, and Jorma Kaukonen, who's a friend of mine, says the same thing. Here's the advice for young musicians. Get yourself a nap right before the set. Make sure that you come on fresh. If you've had a long day, get yourself a little 20-minute nap. Even when we would be out on the bus, we used to all like lay
Put your
down.
legs
go
out
ahead.
above your heart.
Yes.
It's like getting a
And try to hit it
2-hour
fresh.
power nap.
That's very
So-
sound advice, I have to say.
So
Yeah.
getting back to like,
Yeah.
a lot of these songs were written, we were going to record them, but we had been invited into the studio. Blake at this time wasn't in this current lineup of the band. It was David Lewis, who you've had here on the show too, who we love
Don't forget
and
this
respect for
guy.
his
I
time.
mean, we got to throw Osborne a
Well,
there,
well,
you
Jay
know?
was
Yeah.
basically actually he was Jay's
we go.
he was Blake's handler for a number of years. Like we had to like Blake used to be delivered to the shows. Like, have you ever seen Silence of the Lambs when they would have to take the guy in with the hockey mask and on the dolly? Well, we used to have to bring Blake in like that, and Jay was like his handler. He'd bring in, we'd take the mask off, and Blake would go loose. So Jay hung around.
Did the
all
masks
those.
change, or are they all like
Yeah,
one?
he had one
yeah.
for
Yeah.
They're
particular
for sale on
days.
eBay.
Yeah.
So after when Blake was abducted by
No
the,
swing beats.
yeah.
Ollies.
When Blake got abducted by the Deadhead alien spaceship, David Lewis stepped in for a while, which was really, really great. And we had been invited to play a show with Luminous Crush at Underground Studios with Vincent Freeman. We had all played a
Who
show.
just
with,
won an award, by the way. Shout
yeah,
out
Yeah.
Vincent.
yeah, Vincent.
Yay, Vincent.
And he's a new daddy.
All right.
And Vincent's a new
He's a
daddy.
new daddy. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
New dad, brand new
Yeah.
dad.
Woo.
Underground Studios. So he has such a great ear. We had played a show during the pandemic. They were doing live stream shows, and I had him like mix just one cut for us from the live show, and it sounded fantastic. So I knew that we were doing this show with Luminous Crush, so I had Vincent record the sound check. We also knew that we were going to do vinyl, and that you can only do like 35, 36 minutes on vinyl. So we were.
I did not know that.
We were timing the whole
Has
set.
that
Yes.
always been the case?
Always been the case.
always
So
It was
been.
like
Wow.
18
We
minutes
were
a set.
you
Wow.
laid the
So
song list
I laid
out.
the song list out, including keys, like so it would be an interesting key change in the songs.
Yeah.
But with Jay timing stuff out with like a 2-beat in between songs to keep it down. So we like rehearsed the heck out of these
For 6
tunes
weeks.
for 6 weeks while we were out like in this time of year in our busiest point, so that we could record the whole sound check live and then the show live. Everyone was chomping at the bit so much that the sound check just ended up having just that much more energy than even the live show. And so that's basically a live, the way that we sound like live, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
with Jay on percussion, Heather on bass, Dave was playing the drums at that point in time, and we did not have Jake, but the album basically does sound the way that we sound going out as a band. We didn't want to go in and do a bunch of overdubs and stuff that wouldn't exist, you know what I
In
mean?
live-
Like
Yeah.
string
Yeah,
sections
no,
and
that's
harmonies and
the
stuff
way to
like
do
that.
it.
So
Yeah, and for those that are tuning into this episode eventually and that don't know, Heather is the proud owner of the Wild Fern in Stockbridge, Vermont, just north of Pittsfield and Killington. And I have to say, they have done a fabulous job for the last 5+ years introducing artists, many that have had solo sets, Jake, myself, just a bunch of different artists. You guys do a remarkable job just including so many different artists every single week, but I am also just so thrilled how well Facebook Live still seems to be doing for you guys. Like from the Fern, it's become like entertainment
He's like
in and of
the
itself.
the master of it.
and then
Yeah, yeah.
again,
He was
like,
doing
it's
it
a-
before
yeah,
everybody
it's-
else was like
it's funny, you know,
dialing
like
it in.
what do they say, of invention is the something out of
Necessity.
Necessity, yeah, necessity.
Thank
yeah.
you, everyone.
Class participation.
Yes, that was a really great class.
Monty Python, and there was much rejoicing.
Yeah. So during the right before the pandemic, I had actually just sort of an experimental put up the Facebook Live thing because I saw the little icon on my phone. And I left it going, and then I was actually done. This has
all been a happy mistake.
Yeah. So I was sitting on the bus, and I have an iPad on the bus that I could also hear it going, and so I went out and pushed stop, and it said congratulations, you had 1,100 viewers, and I was like, this had to have been 11. This was in the very early, right before the pandemic hit, you know. So the pandemic hit, and basically it is playing music is my addiction, really, and it's also my religion or whatever, you know what I mean? So all of a sudden when you don't have that...
What did Ziggy Marley say? Love is my religion. So
yeah.
Guitar is my religion.
So literally I was like a dog from the shelter, just chomping at the bit, not knowing what to do. So I started doing live streams during the pandemic, and then putting up the PayPal link, because people were like, how do we send you gratuities, and instantly within the first couple of weeks of the pandemic, I was making probably more money than I was playing for live shows.
Yeah,
that's definitely slowed down considerably now.
Oh, sure, because everyone's out and about doing their own thing.
Did
you ever dabble with that before the world shut down, like PayPal and Venmo, or did you all figure that out?
Yeah, the drive-ins.
The drive-ins.
Well, that was
so the
pandemic.
drive-ins are how we survived. The drive-in stage was how we survived the pandemic, was people could sit in their cars across the highway, watch the show.
Right.
The stage used to be on the ground, and the bus used to be in front of the stage, and I would have Heather and Blake start playing, and people would be looking at the side of the bus going, what the heck are we sitting here for? We would fire the bus up, and Blake would call it the 16-ton stage curtain. We'd pull the bus, and then people would see the stage.
It was quite something. I'm not sure there's another venue in the whole world that probably broadcast a show from the stage being on one side of a major, Route 100's a major route.
Yeah, it is.
And the people being parked across on the other side and projecting. I don't know if anybody's ever
Not only that,
off.
you're also at a major intersection of another one too, 107 going out.
Yeah,
to Bethel,
107's coming in.
I love how you're major
We allow
highway.
50
It's Vermont, though.
So then
major highway is
the Hudson
somebody's
River.
driveway.
Although we could show you pictures from the day of the solar eclipse.
Oh, that was
You
crazy.
couldn't. We put a time-lapse camera up, and it looks like
This is
the
at the
LA
firm
freeway.
you're
You couldn't.
talking
You
about?
couldn't
Yeah.
Okay, all the headlights were
people
left
had a hard
behind and
time
stuff.
crossing
On Route 100, they
the
just-
road.
Oh, because how busy it was to get
It was
to
so
Burlington.
there was so much.
Well, you can
Coming
link anything
to
you
and
want
from.
to this video when
We
it
put the
goes up.
time lapse
If you want
on
to link
the way
any of the
back.
shows
Yeah,
or
it was
anything,
insane.
Cool.
places to get
Well-
the new album, you can link that to the.
Oh, we'll definitely
show.
do that, and thank you for mentioning that, because I think it comes up under Bandcamp and stuff. But
We are on Bandcamp and we're on Spotify.
and the show that we just played.
DistroKid, which distributes it a lot as
Yes,
well.
Yeah.
DistroKid,
yes, yeah.
And after we finished the show at August West, Blake always tapes our shows, but we got a message from 2 different taper guys, because we saw there was a taper section. I was like, cool, guys were taping the August West. And
They're like, hey, you can't be doing this.
this
actually.
guy, he actually asked me if it was okay. And honestly, as you know, the Dead or Fish wouldn't be who they were if they weren't just sharing.
Dick
their
Specs,
stuff
man.
Yeah.
Dude, Dick Specs,
Yeah.
volume.
So
I
that
still have
so the
cassettes.
the archives of August West from this Saturday are actually up online already by these really good tapers that taped it. And we listened to the show the next morning, and I was like, Blake, I feel like we've made it. There's guys bootlegging our shows.
I know. Gotta take this section.
So a lot has changed in the industry and the world since you started way back in the day, with Dwayne Carlton and everybody. But do you find, as time-consuming as it is, that technology being in our favor nowadays, for arts?
Yes and no. You can't really we're kind of miraculously have already sold out in the first run of vinyl and CDs,
And their
because
CDs.
because it's kind of a retro thing now. People are like, cool, we need to have vinyl and stuff. But as you know, it's hard to make an album and make money on physical music anymore. So I think in some ways it's really good, but unless you really mastered the art of how to get those hits and the links in for people listening to it, because it's literally not even pennies per listen of people listening to your music. Once it's out there for free. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when we released The Circus, which had guys from the New Riders of the Purple Sage on it, we had amazing help on that album. Walter White, who's an amazing trumpet player, not Walter White from Breaking Bad, we like we expected to go out and sell units, you know what I mean? And people basically like, because you're excellent at your own merchandising and stuff, but as you know, like bands make more money off hats and T-shirts and keychains and shit than they do actually off the music themselves. So
very rare that it's like, hey, I got a CD player. Can I?
So that's also why it's hard to justify going into the studio and spending $30,000 or $40,000 to break it down hour by hour to have this squeaky clean thing that maybe isn't going to sound how you sound anyways. As opposed to, that's why we did go for just trying to do a live album and keep it really simple, and make it sound. Have the same vibe.
An MP3 will never sound like vinyl.
Right.
It can't carry the same information. You know, the high mids and a lot of it is just washed away.
And honestly, we did when we first put this on, because I've done like 14 plus albums. The first band really that I was in, and Dwayne was part of it, was huge members, and we opened up for people like Blue Oyster Cult and April Wine and like crazy Joe Walsh and stuff like that. I forgot that. Oh, so everything back then was like CDs weren't even really a thing at the time. You were doing everything. You were doing stuff on cassettes. It was hard back then to actually have original music and put it out. Now there is all these formats that there's a lot of original music out there. But you have to weed through it, I think, before you get the real good stuff. I think there's a lot of
because it's definitely oversaturated, but like you said, if you find your niche and your way through it. I was mad at what I was going to say was, because you've been so well established for like a very long time, but at the same time, if you got a new set of music that you want to get out there, even if it's not, breaking even or like breaking the bank, let's say like vinyls and CDs, at the very least you're on those streaming platforms. So this modern age can still find you. And you're still getting it out there.
It'll find.
We need a little help with QR codes and website building and that kind
I've helped him out with that. I can help you out with that.
We're not really good at that part.
But it is very interesting, and I go back to this story a lot too. Well, the last song on this album is called Strange Fate, and it's an instrumental piece that I released the album Sweet Life about 18 years ago, and on the album I had Jorma Kaukonen and Jack Cassidy, and it was like help come out by this guy who was with Norah Jones. I couldn't wait to get out and play my set of original music to people, and I was playing in this little club in Bellows Falls that still exists, and my friend Peter was recording the show, and there was like 40 people largely ignoring me, screaming at a TV, and I'm trying to play all these songs, and I'm like,
that's why you advised me after all these years in my young stage, have them turn the TV off.
I couldn't wait.
There's some truth to it.
I couldn't wait to sort of get done with that set, because I knew I'd get done with this set and come back and play like one Dead song, and everybody would turn around and pay attention to me. You know what I mean? So before the set was over, this guy showed up and was hanging out with my friend Pete, and I was like, I'm going to go out to the car to take a break, and I wanted to listen to the roughs of the Sweet Life album. And Pete said, this is a buddy of mine, take him out to the car with you. I took the guy out to the car with me, and the guy was very encouraging. He's like, don't get discouraged, you sound great. He's like, new music's hard to, I forgot exactly what he said. I said, but watch, I'll come in.
Get him again next time, Tiger.
I said, I'll come back in and I'll play like the first notes of Friend of the Devil, and everybody will turn around.
It's almost like you have to apologize for an original song.
I'm
sorry, folks. I'm going to play something I put my heart into.
Something new for you all to check out.
So I came back in and I did start playing I started playing Friend of the Devil, and everybody turns around, and this guy's getting ready to leave, and my friend Pete says, Remington, he always mispronounced my last name, and still does. Pete Manship, who's a great artist down here, he says, give Ken one of your CDs. So I give the guy the CD, and we only had early copies, so I was like, all right, I didn't know why, the one guy who was listening to me. So a few weeks later, I got a call. This lady said, my name is Julie Dunphy. I work for Florentine Films, and Ken Burns really enjoyed meeting you in Bellows Falls. And I was like, who the hell is this? That turned into, the one dude who was listening to me turned into Ken Burns, and this little instrumental piece called Strange Fate ended up in his documentary on national parks, and it helped me put a down payment on my mother's house after she passed away, being the first house that I would own, and my mom was definitely like the biggest fan of my music there was. So that little piece, Strange Fate, really helped out back then and repaid like every 10 years. Well, fast forward 2 years ago, he put out another documentary on the American Buffalo, and I almost erased an email, and he bought the song again for the American Buffalo
awesome.
documentary.
That's
this little
awesome.
2-minute instrumental piece
Right.
that has made it like farther than anything else
It
that I've
almost
done.
didn't make it on your album.
Almost didn't make it on the album.
So when that first happened, I remember you telling me this story one
Yeah,
time, and I
I tell the story all the
I don't
time,
remember
so.
it fully in details, but that's got to be an incredibly amazing roller coaster whirlwind of emotional feelings, and also like, hey, this is extra income coming to me to like, help out the back end of things. And it's
Yeah.
it's got to be really satisfying.
Pretty apropos title also.
Well, and the payout on that this time.
Like we
helped us.
just scored this, there's this little house that shares a well with the Wild Fern, and Heather owner financed the Wild Fern years ago. This little 1850 farmhouse that was owned by a guy who was a Civil War soldier named Oscar Payne and his wife Edwina. They were from Bridgewater, Vermont. We just bought this little house to use as a guest house and sort of a learning center, and it helped the royalties from Ken Burns. I sent him the whole story of the place, and the royalties from this song ending up in the American Buffalo documentary helped us make a down
Put
payment,
the down payment
on the Ken Burns thing.
Historically, it's called the Payne Academy, and historically, the Payne Academy and the Wild Fern were actually all one property.
Yeah.
Until they built the cafe in the
So
60s.
So it is like a weird thing of like, sometimes we don't know why we kind of put all the faith and that we have into just this thing that you can't really describe. And I think that is why like a lot of people do like gather, whether it's Deadheads or Slipknot fans or like the gathering of this, or Dave Matthews fans or Elvis fans or whatever.
Fish,
I think
anybody.
Fish
Fans, right?
I think
It's an
I got your
enemy
back. I got your back, brother. I got your back. Well, listen. There you go. Little chalk dust. Yeah.
If anyone out there says that they saw me playing a Fish song, I fine you $15. That's the thing with
that
the band.
that camera.
Oh, sorry.
That camera. Yeah. that one. No, to put it in simplest terms possible. Is I listen to a lot of comedians and sports talk radios shows also as well too. Entertainment is a way for the people that are not entertainers to escape in this crazy, wild, dark place, real world sometimes. A little bit of time gives them a little bit of freedom from their reality that they want to put on pause for a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's why we do the things in the things.
Yeah,
Instruments.
and that butterfly
The things
effect
and the things.
The
That's why
things
we
and
do
the
the-
things.
that's what we do.
That's what we're gonna call
Things
this.
And the
and
whatnots. And the
Stuff and
whatnots.
stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff and stuff.
That's one of my brother's sayings.
Stuff and stuff.
Stuff
That's
and
Josh's.
stuff. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that Josh, Jake's brother, and I, the three of us are actually a pro wrestling team, and my sister Mary over there, she's part of the wrestling team. We're the only brother-sister wrestling team in Vermont. So anybody who wants to meet us, we'll be there.
Yeah. Or it's like the guy from Happy Gilmore. You could count on me meeting you in the parking lot. You eat pieces of for breakfast. Now I got here's why Dougie and I really are happy to have you here. How much of a Three Stooges, Abbott and Costello vibe is it like with you guys?
With
in
us?
practice, yeah. Because he
So
tells all the stories. I gotta actually know that.
Wait, can we back this up for
Yes,
a minute?
please.
Jay tells all the stories?
Some of them.
Some of the stories?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very evident.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Some of the stories have endings, which is surprising. But now take it away.
The greatest thing about Jay lately is like Jay tells me lately, he's like, I just got a quick story to tell you, just 2 hours. He's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I'll get it done.
SpongeBob, a few minutes later.
No, honestly, I can say without doubt that I just came off this run with these guys, and Jake, this is a new lineup for us, really, all of us playing like this. It's a new band and a new lineup, and it's definitely the most refreshing and great sort of family feeling vibe that I've had yet. Having Blake back is amazing. We've been brothers for 30 years. Jay is an amazing human being himself. He's like a little brother to us. Heather, she didn't know she was going to be the bass player, but we were in a position of playing bass with Post-it notes at her feet.
Thank
And
goodness.
Right? That's a true story.
Yeah.
And
And
she's
five is a lot more than three. So you could actually take a breath once in a while, maybe.
her first notes to
Really?
Yeah,
However
at
many
that
years?
festival.
However many years ago?
It was
on August West, right?
Yeah, 19
So her
years
first
ago.
notes were August West, and we taught her the 3 notes to
on the
Sweet
big
Life.
bass.
Yeah. Oh wow.
But she
Yeah.
got to play her first notes on this like huge 10,000 watt PA system, so she's spoiled that way. She thinks that. That's why we had to bring her. That's why we had to bring her stack in today. You know.
There's a picture of her with playing her first note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay's
August West.
Jay's dad was it because of basketball that they called your dad Crazy Legs?
Yeah,
It was.
his nickname was Crazy Legs on the high school basketball team in Litchfield, Connecticut.
So we call Jay Crazy Legs in honor of his dad. I have family. I have a father, grandparents, uncles, and aunts who are all buried down here in Ludlow. My father's name was Paul Redington, but my uncle Richard Redington died in the invasion of Sicily. And
I saw his
Yeah,
stone up there. It's
Richard L.
right on the
Redington.
walkway.
Yeah.
Every time I walk the dog, I go past it, and I've always said, I wonder if that's Rick's.
I used to
family
right
there.
I used to pull up there with my kids. This is how morbid I am. I used to pull up there with my kids when they were little, and they'd be asleep in the back, and I would like open the back door and point to the headstone. And they'd be like, I'm like, "Daddy's not dead yet, kids."
You can't kill him.
Richard L. Redington died in the invasion of Sicily,
Yeah,
and none of us,
1943.
none of us have ever met him. I don't even know that my dad would have known him that well. But I was named after a grandfather I never met. My middle name is Clarence, and my first name is Richard, so I'm named after Richard, which is quite an honor. And after a grandfather I never met, my name is Richard Clarence Redington. Everyone, I'm out.
And your stories about how long ago did your mom pass away? Your stories about your mom are just beautiful.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
And she was honestly
and the reason
one of the sweetest human beings. I'm glad that you pulled that back into my mind.
Yes. The reason I'm really getting to that, I know you finished the sentimental part, but did you ever get called your middle name immediately after your first name? You knew to tighten up after that.
Richard Clarence. First of all, if it was Richard, she was angry. If it was Richard Clarence, I was done. You know? I was done if it was Richard.
But
Clarence.
your stories of your mom are just so.
And she was really the first original song I wrote. This song, Mountain Cabin, for the Old Friend album. And again, shout out to Rod and Claudine, who had Mount Hollywood Studios for so many years, down next to Harry's Original Cafe was where the original studio was.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know.
I record, and it actually goes back even further than that to a guy named
He's on cassette.
Before Mount Hollywood.
Yeah, before Mount Hollywood was owned by a gentleman named Bo Bowman years ago, who actually was a talented dude. But Mountain Cabin was a little poem that my grandmother wrote that my mother and my aunt gave me as they were moving my grandparents from their bigger house into a smaller house, and my friends were down in the cellar practicing our Black Sabbath riffs and everything that we could. And my mother handed me this little poem that just sang to me off the page, and I was like, this is a great song. She's like, it's not a song, but you should make it a song. And so for like Thanksgiving of that year, I went to a studio that was in Pittsford, Vermont. First time I'd ever been to a studio, and the guy had like a MIDI controller on a Martin, so I could like fake a cello part, and like, so I recorded Mountain Cabin for my family as a Thanksgiving present, and it was a few years before my grandmother was passed away, so I got to play that for them at like family gatherings, and just I like the warm and fuzzy feeling that it brought, that I brought to the plate to everybody at that point in time, and I had no idea that I was going to write songs for a living. And now 40 plus years later, I guess when that all started, I was like, I don't care if I'm on, at that point, you know, MTV, it was probably pre-MTV or whatever. I just wanted to be able to raise a couple of kids, have a nice house, live here in Vermont, and live comfortably and hang out with dogs. And I've been able to do all that stuff. So this is all like bonus tracks for me at this point in time.
Are there a lot of musicians in your immediate family also too that have kind of?
I had a cousin that like used to play.
That's where we all start.
Yesterday. Yeah, that's where we all start. Yeah. Yeah,
You know, when my son,
it's that half step. It's that half step
Zoe.
up. That
as soon as I taught my kids how to play an instrument, I'm like, whatever you pick up, you just play that Smoke on the Water riff, and you're gonna be all right. And my kid still does that to this day.
And you know, the funny thing about that song is so many people like only know that riff, but there's a killer guitar solo.
Yeah.
In that. I just heard that yesterday, setting up for Man and Mountain, and man, I'm just like, wow. there's some off-color notes in that guitar solo.
I'll tell you,
that's a really good solo.
I'll tell you what, it's hard for me to even, like, you see right now that I have a guitar in my hands because
Is that what that is?
If I don't have a guitar in my hand, it's even hard for me to, like, talk to people. Like, I'm a pretty weird.
Yeah, it's a part of you, man. It's okay. Yeah.
So Dwayne Carlton dragged me out to see Deep Purple with Steve Morris as the guitar player. Also, Jeff Beck was on that thing. So here's the other thing about me that you don't want to go to like shows with, because I'll just sit like where Dougie is right now and I'll just cry. And people will be like, "Is he okay?" And I'm like,
"He's fine. It's okay."
It's never fun to listen to, like if it's hitting me hard, like, and of course like every performance with my kids in school and stuff like that. I would play shows with Richie Havens. I played a lot of shows and became friends with Richie Havens, and I would say to him, "You won't see me because I'll be in the back of the theater just bawling my eyes out." And that basically music does hit me on that level, you know what I mean?
Gives you goosebumps probably also.
Yeah, even right now, just talking about it that way.
Have you, speaking of Jeff Beck, you ever met him? You ever met Jeff Beck?
No.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be a story in and of itself. I figured you would have told him.
Oh my God, no! I was waiting for you to tell me a story.
Yeah, no. But funny story about that. I've met another monster guitar player, Derek Trucks. I met him twice.
Okay, so here you go.
Nicest guy in the world, man. Yeah,
that's basically like Blake. I mean, Blake.
I met him and Stevie Ray Vaughan.
You met Stevie?
Oh, that's killer.
Yeah.
Everybody all at once.
In Vermont. And Blake is a homeboy right here, like from Springfield area, right? They're basically from down around this area. And we used to, our like sort of validation for guys like me and Blake, and on my first album was an amazing artist named Sandra Wright. And we used to go to have like jam sessions with, you were down there for the blues jams more than I was. But I've right here in Ludlow opened up for Rick Danko, Warren Haynes, like big
the old
shows.
Savannahs, right? The old Savannahs.
Yeah.
I've heard that story from a few people. Little Mexico now,
And that mansion next to the place.
She was the sweetest lady. She really was the sweetest.
Yeah, she was literally one of the nicest human beings. Yeah, we all miss Sandra, right?
Back when block parties were a huge thing around here.
And the place, the place that they used to call the Snow Mansion, which is next to Outback Pizza.
Outback, yeah, off the rails.
Well, what's that little like building right next to it that looks like it's like a?
I still don't know after
looks
all
like
these years.
apartment building right there.
Yeah, where the monsters live.
The monsters.
Yeah, it used to just be like it used to be called the Snow Mansion, and that was like people would party like insanely in that building. It's all apartment buildings right next to.
I know there's like a whole nother complex of apartment buildings up there also too, but
And shout out to the guy that met me. His name was Rick, right?
Yeah, today.
So I've been watching this. So when we go out and we get busy, like, and since I was like, when my kids first came into my life, I knew that like I wasn't going to be able to keep drinking and partying to the point to the way that I did. And eBay was young, you know what I mean. So I quit drinking. My daughter was born in '97. My son was born in 2000, and I quit drinking and doing hard drugs. I wouldn't be here alive talking to you at that point in time, and started investing in stuff. Collecting guitars, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because I had hung out with this old gentleman named Cecil, who I wrote the song "Old Friend" about, and I learned about the importance of saving up and putting your money in guitars.
You had a financial advisory lesson.
Yeah, in Vintage Guitar Magazine, they had an article called 401k Guitar. While everybody was like losing their money, people were like their money was still in collectibles. So when we go out in a busy season, I try to invest in a guitar. So I'm watching this guitar in Marketplace for like the past month or whatever, and me and the person usually end up in a story. That person had to hire someone to drive them up from Bellows Falls, sold this to me for like half what they had it up there because they wanted me to take it out and it be seen. They've had this guitar for like a few years but not play the thing on it because they couldn't learn how to play guitar. The guy's name was Rick, right? I think. So Rick drove. Rick, thanks for driving up from Bellows Falls. I'm officially naming this guitar Sammy. As a matter of fact, this guitar, we're gonna call this guitar Sammy. This little
do you
deal,
name yours
because we also.
I do, yeah.
Because also the way that Elvis how Elvis liked to give away. Elvis Presley loved to give away Cadillacs, and I love to give away guitars.
True.
And we gave a guitar we gave 3 guitars to people in need. A friend of ours who had lost his in a fire, and then another friend of ours who had gotten robbed, and a mutual friend of ours, both named Chris, as a matter of fact. And so I gave away like 3 acoustic guitars in the past year.
Young kid.
So and
a young
a
student
guitar student of mine named Dominic. So I gave away 3 acoustic guitars, and that validated me, like getting this one.
That's awesome. That's
Little
awesome.
Sammy.
What's your favorite brand of guitars after all these years?
My acoustic guitars that I play are like DAION, which was a company that this old gentleman Cecil turned me on to that went out of business in the mid '80s. They were only in business from like '79 to '80. So my main guitar, which is over there, is a DAION, which I think in Japanese means beautiful sound or big sound or something.
Like that. I like that. Yeah. Getting back to the band really quickly, is having Jake on board? Is he the first time you've had like a keyboard player in like one of your lineups in like a long time?
In a long time. And to have
that's a whole other dynamic.
When I first started playing with you, Chuck Miller still played, and he was
the Berkeley graduate I talked about.
Yeah,
but it takes a lot of pressure off everybody actually because there's more rhythm going on. And as you know, like being a bass player in a 3-piece band is a nightmare because the minute the guy goes to solo, your bass player is like out there like naked, you know what I mean? Which isn't the worst case. And, you know, I'm sorry, I had to throw that out.
That's a good analogy. Yeah.
I had to make her blush a little bit.
Yeah. How was
are we keeping Hank awake?
When you
at this point,
you're gonna want to adopt him.
No, he's doing all right.
I would, but I can't.
And we haven't even really talked about the fact that Hank is adoptable. If you contact Rutland County Humane Society, and we're fostering Hank, and he just becomes part of our team, and he really is an amazing dude.
He's a good boy.
So rchsvt.org is Rutland County Humane Society Vermont.org, and they have him listed under Tank. But Tank was the name that whoever abandoned him called him in the motel, and so I call him Handsome Hank, the Heartbreaker, because he really, everybody that he's come up to, he's been really sweet with everyone. He is definitely breaking our hearts.
Yeah,
he's already broken Dougie's heart, but Dougie's breaking his heart. You both charmed him when you got here.
Yeah,
because you have an amazing dog.
Yeah, thank you.
What's your dog's name?
His name is Denver. He's a 4-year-old black lab. Yeah, and Dougie's got a dog also too.
Yeah. I knew that.
Yeah,
and Dougie actually had lost his home in the flood a couple years ago. He's back here, and your dedication to your family and your sister and all that stuff is really beautiful to us. And we just went down and we were integrated into Jake McLaughlin's family, like his mom.
Yeah, they just adopted us.
Oh, I saw that. Jake's mom. It
wasn't hard to do, right?
Yeah. Sister Donna.
Even though Jake's mom's only a few years older than me, so we had a great time.
More of that. Yeah.
Sister Donna.
Sister Donna.
I want to thank Rick Redington and Tuff Luv once again for being here on the Tasty Twist. A couple last things I just want to touch on. So you make a mean pizza and you get some interior design work from one of your band members. Quite frequently, right? Yeah. It's good to have perks. Exterior. Yeah.
We've had him. Actually, he's done a lot of the paint.
Interior, right?
Yeah.
You've done a lot of the
painting
actually.
Ceilings,
Yeah.
He did the ceilings at Paint Academy, which was not easy. He's like who did the Sistine? Yeah, Michelangelo.
Yeah.
We have to put him up on scaffolding and loincloth, and then he paints the ceilings. He might have done your ceilings.
So do you have to be the spotter, like with the ladder, like when he's like getting up on like heights?
No, he's pretty stealth actually.
No, you make him pizzas. Pizza's got to be a good diet for everybody at the Wild Fern.
Right? Covers all the food, all the food
those
groups.
Pizzas anyways, are
not exactly.
For me, we've been in business almost 13 years. September 12th will be our 13th year. I made the dough up until about 3 years ago, and he has officially taken over our pizza dough.
Have you taken that all over now, Rick? Yeah. Oh.
He makes the pizza dough.
Oh, the dough.
Yeah. You gotta save a piece from. Always save a piece of
for our
yesterday's.
community meal.
Yeah.
Shout out to Biggie.
We have a Stockbridge community meal program, and so he does do the pizzas for that.
You give him free. Everyone, Biggie. Yes.
Biggie Smalls. Yeah. Biggie Smalls.
Sir Paul.
Legend.
Sir Paul McCartney is still here with us as well too. Yeah.
You hear him snort. You hear him. He's like, "This is
that's his sigh." He's like, "Yeah."
That was pretty impressive.
I'm done
it was
with
so
this.
hot today too. Thanks to the studio down here, and these guys have come and taped our shows. I think that we do in the
Yes.
So thanks to it's Okemo.
You've been at the Proctorsville on the Green, but they've also filmed you at a bunch of other different spots also.
Is it Okemo TV? And
Okemo Valley TV.
Okemo Valley TV. Thank you very much for hosting us, and thanks for shooting our shows in the gazebo. We love coming down here and playing in that little gazebo.
I'd like to give a special shout out on this episode to Hank for being here today.
Dude, Hank did great.
Good job, Hank.
And to Dougie for being Hank's best pal.
Yeah.
Piece of cake.
And Dougie came out.
Easiest job I ever had.
Dougie came out and put his head right in Hank's jaws like a guy would do in a line. He's like, "Here, I will offer this to you."
That's it. Yeah, it's a layup right there. Yeah,
Hank's jaws are big enough for that.
And Dougie, thanks for being on here 3 of the 5 episodes so far this season for the Tasty
Count on me
Twist.
for the rest of the year, pal.
I hope so. Unless North Carolina comes up or Mexico, right? Yeah.
Mexico doesn't happen until December.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good to know. I'll be needing.
It's probably hard for Dougie to sit here with all this percussion stuff going on and not have joined us, and we probably should have had him. Next time when we come back for part 2, maybe we'll get you to interview Hezzy about Hezzy and the flashbacks.
Hezzy and the flashbacks. Yeah.
That's how I started. Yeah.
That's fine. And you've done one of these, yes?
I have.
Yeah, Jake did.
And you've done one of these. Blake might be the only guy who hasn't. So maybe if you got one final question
Jake
for
and
Blake.
I co-billed. That's how Jake came into our midst. We co-billed last summer for
At the
the first
flash-
time.
at the Hezzy and
He was my
flashback,
special
yeah.
guest. Yeah.
Does anybody here in the band want to give special shout outs to anybody in particular for wrap up this episode for the special shout out?
I always send a shout out to Rod and Claudine, who are like my music parents down here in Mount Holly. They took me in and helped me record that first album. They got Sandra Wright to record on that album. They basically made it like open mic in the studio, but the album Old Friend came out really well. That was back in like '89. And I've recorded a lot of my albums with those guys. So they were the first ones to teach me that it wasn't that scary to like just put original music out there.
To get it out there, yeah.
And Gypsy Reel is still going.
Gypsy
They
Reel is
still are,
going.
yeah.
I wrote the song
Every Thursday
Gabriel.
night at the Killarney, man. Yeah, every Thursday night at the Killarney.
And I wrote Gabriel for Gypsy Reel, and they toured that around and recorded that and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Heather?
Yeah.
Anybody when you want to
I'm
give
going
a shout out?
to give a special shout out to my parents who just celebrated an anniversary on August 8th. And a special shout out to all 3 of our kids for all the patience that they have shown us in these many years as we've been a band and a pizza venue and bread venue, because that's not always easy on, when you're self-employed. So thanks, kids,
And
for
usually
hanging
it's the
in
other
with
way
us.
around. You say the patience we have with them. Usually the opposite, right? I'm sure it goes.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, it goes both
right?
ways. Yeah. Jake?
Yeah, sure. Give my family another shout out.
Yeah.
Sarah. And thanks to the church for putting up with me sneaking out a bunch of Saturdays, shooting right out of mass to get up to the well.
You're a
for
veteran at
keep
this
rehearsing.
point. You can miss a few here and there. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't miss it, but quick post load and then all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah, Blake.
My family, and especially Mom, who got me my first drum set when I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Sharon.
Sir Osborne.
Yeah, Sharon.
I think the people that I would give a shout out for are all on this stage. So.
Last but not least, the newest co-host of Tasty Twist, Dougie.
Somebody adopt this beautiful, wonderful dog. You will never be disappointed.
Yes.
He is amazing. Look at him.
I know.
All this stuff going on.
You see
Look
what
at
happened on the Heartbreaker?
Yeah. Carrots for days.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Doug.
Oh, last but not least, I want to give a special shout out. She's in the back here.
Yes.
Mary.
Yeah.
She's not going to sneak on side
sneak
camera.
over here?
Yeah, see, come on.
Very great.
And everybody, on behalf of this wonderful group of people, I'm Sammy Blanchett. Thanks for watching this episode of the Tasty Twist.
Peace out.
Woo! Oh wait, one more time. Hold on. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
They're creepy and they're spooky. They're all together ooky.
Peace and love, everybody. Woo! Thank you, Okemo.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching another episode of the Tasty Twist with Sammy B. Be sure to follow it on OkemoValley.tv, follow it on cable, or download their mobile app. You can also follow every episode on my website, SammyBmusic.com. Have a great day.